Welcome back to the world of aviation. This is the famous P-51 Mustang that was so successful during World War II. Most of these were chopped up and turned into scrap after the war as the Air Force turned to the jet age. Although some found their way into the museums around the country, a select few made their way back to the sky for a different battle, the sport of air racing.
Air racing began in 1909 in Reims, France. The fastest plane of the time was the Curtiss Pusher, built by Glenn Curtiss himself. An American, he won the first race at the astonishing speed of just 47 miles per hour. By 1922, the planes had moved from land to sea to compete for the Schneider Cup. The speeds had gone from 47 miles per hour to 126. The Supermarine S5 was a streamlined plane built specifically for speed. It was designed by R.J. Mitchell and used a Rolls-Royce engine, designed by Mr. Royce, of course. The engine produced nearly 2,000 horsepower. In the 1920s and 30s, air racing experienced its golden age. Cities across Europe and America put up large sums of money to attract aviators. As air racing grew in popularity, speeds steadily increased. The top pilots became big stars. Beaches and cruise ships were packed with spectators trying to get a glimpse of these exciting races. It was a time when people were fascinated with aviation. Today, the excitement of air racing is still very much alive. The new race series was established by pilots and is now called Air Racing Unlimited, with stops this year in Dallas, Denver, and Reno.
ARU basically stands for Air Racing Unlimited, and what has happened is all the unlimited race owners have gotten together and formed the ARU, and basically that was formed to develop a series of unlimited air races.
Racing these planes at over 400 miles per hour and close to one another is risky business, and danger comes with the territory.
Well, you know, I always liken pushing these engines to having a little time bomb underneath your seat with a fuse. The only problem is you can't see the fuse. Some days it runs out before you get back down on the ground.
The biggest thing on your mind is emergencies. If you have an engine failure, where you're going to go. Then after you've figured that out, then it's time to think about racing and who you can beat.
Air Racing Unlimited, apart from its speed, is three-dimensional, making this the most exciting motorsport of the future.
Well, now that you've seen a little bit about the history of air racing, we're going to go to the first of 3 races we'll be bringing you here on the World of Aviation. Let's go down now to our first race in Sherman-Denison, Texas. Here's our race commentators, Ken Squier and Neil Anderson. Gentlemen.
Well, thank you, Kevin. And here's a sport that truly fits the image of Texas. Unlimited. The air racers pretty much run what you brung.
On the break, it is George Baker in the plane he called Sky Fury.
Sky Fury is an airplane George built down in Florida.
Coming to the first pylon. And low and tight to it is Kevin Eldridge in Spam Cam, taking second place from Matt Jackson.
Right, it's Kevin Eldridge, Matt Jackson, and Bob Converse all dueling for second and third and fourth place down there.
Pope, couple of Mustangs running second and third. Matt Jackson there with Kevin Eldridge challenging.
Right, Kevin Eldridge loves to fly very close to the pylons. Matt Jackson's preference is low, not necessarily as close. You see him jockeying for position now coming around for this next pylon.
There's a style among all of these pilots that's different with every man, right?
That's right. You also have a rule consideration that you have to work with. You cannot pass on the inside when you're near a pylon.
Coming around pylon 8 to complete lap number 1, George Baker of Daytona Beach, Florida in the lead.
George Baker's in the lead. Remember, this is a 5-airplane race. There's a lot of people behind him working on him as well.
Here he is right down on the deck, completing that first lap, getting some 2,700 horsepower working in that Hawker Fury.
The Hawker Fury is modified with an American engine. Gives it a little bit more power than the original Hawker Fury. Good-looking airplane, good-looking airfoil on that airplane. George flies it beautifully.
How much do these weigh?
Oh, George's airplane will weigh in the area of 9,000 pounds.
Here you see the Douglas Sky Raider. That is Ronnie Gardner.
Ronnie Gardner's tail end Charlie in this race. We'll get back to George Baker here. and work with him a little bit going around these pylons. You can see he flies a very smooth race.
Meanwhile, back in second place, the P-51, no business, flown by Matt Jackson, and a good battle developing between two Californians, Kevin Eldridge in Span Cam, and Robert Converse in Hunters 3.
Right, Kevin takes Converse quite easily, staying just on the outside of the pylon so he doesn't cut it. Converse doesn't let him get ahead by any significant margin.
So it's Robert Converse now moving up to third, Kevin Eldridge falling to fourth, and this man, George Baker, staying out in front.
Right, George Baker still flying a race a little bit higher than most of them. In this case, about 250 feet above the ground.
Does that keep that engine a little cooler?
No, it doesn't keep it any cooler, but it gives him a little bit more flexibility to look down on everybody else.
Battle for third and fourth here. Bakersfield, California's Robert Converse leading. Kevin Eldridge out of Chino.
You come back around the pylon, continuing at quite low altitude so they can make their turn smoothly and efficiently.
Well, here you see George Baker staying out in front, looking for his first medal victory.
George is doing a good job. He knows he's in front. His pit crew have told him that he's in front.
Flying third, Robert Converse. He's a pilot for U.S. Air.
You're right, Howard, coming by on.
You can hear this crosstalk going on. What's all that about, Neil?
They're constantly talking to each other, especially when they're about to pass. They want the guy in front of them to know, I'm passing you on the outside, I'm passing you high. I'm working on an inside turn if I am not near a pylon.
Neil, in automobile racing, there's a lot of intimidating. What about here?
You bet. There's always intimidation here.
45, 696, where you at?
Hawker Fury against the P-51 to decide the bronze race here in the Texas Air Races 1990.
They're into the final turn now. George Baker still high. Got about 90 degrees to go. His strategy is to dive down at low altitude, past that pylon at the same altitude Matt Jackson is, squeeze him out for the lead. Descending now, coming down at 375, 385 miles an hour into the final stretch. Just a few airplane lengths ahead of Matt Jackson and wins the race.
That's the story on race number one. The bronze event is won by Florida's George Baker over Matt Jackson.
Just mention the Blue Angels and people are automatically enthused. These high-skilled pilots are the pride of naval aviation. They bring the color and excitement of flying to millions of Americans. This year alone, they will perform 65 shows at 37 different locations. In all, over 8 million people will come to watch. Their #1 mission is not what you may think. It is to attract young and talented recruits to the United States Navy. These pilots are the top of their class.
The desire to become a Blue Angel, I think, is probably pretty high on any naval aviator's list of things to do, because it epitomizes perfection in the air and also excellence on the ground.
I'm the slot pilot, the #4 pilot, and you can see my airplane in the background. I fly behind the diamond formation as the #4 pilot. I'm responsible for the ultimate safety of the formation, responsible for all the formation changes and all the shifts that take place. So I think I have one of the best jobs.
The Blue Angel Diamond Formation is their worldwide trademark. The Diamond uses 4 of 6 jets, leaving 2 as solo flights. They first flew in 1946 and have occupied several different aircraft through the years. Today they fly the F-18 Hornet, the Navy's first dual-role aircraft. The Blue Angels for the past 44 years have represented proudly the Navy's commitment to excellence.
Plane ready to put them underway for 8 laps.
Looking real good. Gentlemen, you've got a race.
3 P-51s, a Grumman Bearcat, and 2 Hawker Furies make up the silver race, and on the break, going to the first pylon, it is the Grumman Bearcat. Howard Pardue out in front being challenged here. Ron Hevley moving up.
Hevley's got to be extremely careful here to stay away from that prop wash coming off of that Bearcat. It's a small airplane. It throws out a tremendous amount of wash. He takes him on the outside a little bit high, very close aboard. He's staying close aboard to match speeds as closely as possible. Both of them are running at full throttle.
Wingtip to wingtip battle here in this silver race. Ron Heavily trying to challenge the Grumman Bearcat of Howard Pardue for first position.
You can see the strategy here. Heavily has taken a high position in the turn so he can come out of the turn and dive into first place.
So it's now Howard Pardue in first position, Ron Heavily in second.
That's right, but Heavely's coming down. As he comes down, he moves into first position in front of Howard, sliding over so he takes the position near the pylon. The strategy worked. Heavily moved forward into a lead position, and now he's being challenged by Reinschild, who at this time is passing Pardue into second position.
Bill Reinschild on the move in his P51. Coming up through Reinschild, looking for his first win. But he's got a real task with Ron Heavily, the crop duster from Bakersfield, California, right there leading the event.
Reinschild's position at this time is in third place. He's got to get in front of Howard Pardue. And we've got an emergency in progress.
Number 11.
That was the plane of Ralph Twombly, Miss America, the Mustang, in trouble. Meanwhile, let's stay with the leader. Here's Ron Heavily. Apparently, they're going to bring in the Miss America.
Right, they'll bring in the Miss America above and just outside of the pylon racers. The race will continue. Ron Heavily still in the lead. Reinschild number 2, Pardue number 3.
2 laps complete on the 9.2-mile course here at Denison, Texas. Ron Heavily still out in front after a great battle in that initial lap with the Bearcat that is being flown here today by Howard Pardue. Let's talk about heat for just a moment. How warm does it get in those cockpits?
It gets tremendously warm. Temperatures 135, 140, 145 degrees.
Here's Ron Heavily continuing to pull away from the field now. And we're watching as Miss America, flown by Ralph Twombly, the Mustang, is making this emergency landing.
You have no idea what caused the emergency. Probably an engine overheat or a propeller vibration. He did a good job of getting it back on the ground.
Ron Heavily continues in first place. Second place, Bill Reinschild in the silver race here at Denison, Texas. Pardue is in third, Hamilton is in fourth, and James is running in fifth spot. We were talking about heat a moment ago. A lot of racing drivers have gone to cool suits. What's the situation here, Neil?
None of the guys in this race have cool suits. Only the extremely wealthy fellas can afford them. They're very useful, very efficient units as long as they work.
Ron Heavily continuing to put it on him. Listen to the power of this aircraft.
Again, check this battle coming up for third place. It's Hamilton, Pardue, and Jerry Jane. Hamilton coming up on Pardue. Jerry Jane's coming up on Hamilton.
Pardue in the dark plane, the Grumman Bearcat.
The outside airplane is Jerry Jane. He's probably got the most powerful airplane in this race. They're working hard. There's Hamilton trying to take Pardue from the outside. He's dropping down a little bit to pick up his speed. As he come into the straightaway, he'll take it.
Pardue staying first, but Jerry James is the man on the move.
Right, Jerry James is on the outside and up high. His intention is to come down on him. We're still looking at our leader.
But look at this battle. It's going on for third place.
Right on. Howard on the left, Hamilton in the middle, Jerry James on the outside and high. Coming down to wait for a straightaway where he can make his final pass.
There you see Pardue closest to us. Continuing to lead.
Leader is still Heavily. Now being challenged very closely by Reinschild.
Here's a great battle developing further back as Jerry James, the Canadian, and Cottonmouth is on the move around Howard Pardue.
Jerry's firmly established now in third place.
There you see him, Jerry James, the Canadian.
With the big 3350 power in that Sea Fury.
Battle for the lead continues.
And on it's a battle now between Reinschild and our current leader, Ron Heavily.
Here is Bill Reinschild making a move. He's going for first place.
He's going around the outside, starting down. As he comes down, his speed accelerates. He's sitting there at about 420, 430 miles an hour.
Tree level. Bill Reinschild taking first place from the former national champion, Ron Heavily.
Reinschild's establishing himself out in front. He'll take the first pylon here, well in front of Ron Heavily. Bill
Reinschild looking for his first win in unlimited racing. Goes out in front of Ron Heavily as the laps begin to run away.
Reinschild's riding a little bit high now. Here comes Cottonmouth. Beautiful airplane. That silver paint job shows up excellent.
strategy as we get into the end of this race? Where do you want to run?
You bet. You want to be out in front. You want to ride a little bit high so you can check all your temperatures, keep your pressures where you need to be. You got Howard Pardue now battling with Lloyd Hamilton for 4th place.
There is Howard Pardue in the Grumman Bearcat.
A fine little airplane. It's the first model of the Grumman Bearcat. Reinchild still firmly in the lead. He doesn't intend to give this up now. He'll stay about 200 feet in altitude, running that airplane as hard as it will run. Trying to fly his pylons as smoothly as possible, stay ahead of Heavley.
There's Ron Heavley in that 2nd place. Risky Business is the name of that place out in front. What an apt name.
You bet. Here comes Cottonmouth in 3rd place. Well established in 3rd place. The battle now is for 4th place.
Lloyd Hamilton, a pilot for Pan Am with a baby Gorilla, going after that darker plane, the Howard Pardue machine.
That puts Howard into 5th place. He's not very happy to be back there. He's going to work hard to move back up into that pack.
A lot of great racing in this event.
You bet. And the best racing is right back here for 4th place. Howard Pardue isn't about to let Hamilton get in front of him.
That's
Lloyd. Stay there.
Lloyd Hamilton up on the high side. Howard Pardue down low.
Pardue will not give him the inside track. That means he's got to go further. Still out in front is Risky Business.
Being flown by Bill Reinchild. And there you see the 2nd place man, Ron Heavley. Mustangs 1st and 2nd. And as we go to the last lap, there's a chance they may lap that 4th and 5th place battle that you see right there.
That's right. He's coming around into the last 2 placers.
He's averaging better than 380 miles an hour, Bill Reinchild, as he tries to win this silver race.
Coming around in towards the finish line. He starts his dive down towards the finish line and crosses the finish line.
Bill Reinchild, Risky Business, wins the silver race here at the Texas Air Races 1990 competition.
Starting this race, Howard Pardue into big Sea Fury, jumped off to an early lead.
We saw Howard Pardue in the last race. He fell back. Here he is with another aircraft out here for the gold race.
Check this out, Ken. There's a big battle at the start of this race between Howard Pardue and DeStefani and Strega. Strega's trying to take him from the outside. Pardue's not letting that happen at all. He stays very tight into the pylons, makes Strega run a longer, wider race.
Hawker Fury stays in 1st place. Strega going to 2nd. Incredible pictures here as they're battling at over 400 miles an hour.
Exactly. In fact, probably well over 450 miles an hour. And Strega, with that nitrous oxide burst, comes around Howard on the outside.
They say that aircraft can develop some 3,800 horsepower in that 12-cylinder engine.
And it'll probably also do very nearly 500 miles an hour straight and level. He's probably up over 460, 470 right now.
Back in 1987, DeStefani set the world record for these unlimited racers.
Tiger DeStefani's out in the lead position. He's establishing himself now at about 200 feet above the ground, taking these pylons close in, trying to do half his turn before the pylon and half after the pylon.
Still Howard Pardue in 2nd place. Here's DeStefani just sweeping this machine around and continuing to build a tremendous lead.
He's monitoring all the temperatures in the cockpit. He knows he's got a long race ahead of him. It's very easy to run out of fluid. Very easy to let a temperature get out of control. And here we got Tsunami passing the Howard Pardue Sea Fury.
The John Sandberger-owned aircraft, Tsunami, meaning tidal wave, continuing to roll and looking now for Tiger DeStefani.
These are the tip camera pictures out of DeStefani's airplane.
Off the wingtip. Amazing pictures. And here you see the interval between 1st and 2nd position. DeStefani leading. Closing is Hinton.
But these are pictures of Tiger DeStefani's Strega airplane. A little bit of vapor coming off that wingtip as he comes around this corner into the straightaway.
What causes that?
It's condensation off that wingtip.
All right, on the deck at over 460 miles an hour. Incredible pictures coming down toward that first pylon.
You might be able to see that first pylon over on the left side of your screen as he comes through. There it goes, right past the left side of the screen.
And there you see Steve Hinton still trying to chase down Bill Tiger DeStefani for 1st place in this gold race.
This is the rest of the pack coming up behind them. Putnam in another Mustang.
John Putnam out of Bakersfield, California.
Right, you got Johnny Maloney in the Super Corsair. You see it here. Super Corsair, the wingtips are clipped off. Very high-speed airplane.
Must be tricky to handle.
It certainly is. It's a former world champion.
Battle continuing up in front. Tiger DeStefani stays on the point. Continuing to close as two national champions battle it out is Hinton.
That's right, a tremendous race warming up here. You've got Tiger in the front, DeStefani in the front, Hinton and following him. It's very close.
Unbelievable when you think of the speeds that are turned out in these aircraft. Do you have any sense of speed out there?
You bet. They're at very low altitude. Certainly hear that speed, certainly feel it.
Get a sense of just how low they are as you see them in the main straightaway.
Once again, here comes Strega.
And here comes Hinton following up, closing ground.
Right, Hinton's just a couple hundred feet behind him now.
Meanwhile, in third place, aircraft called Georgia May being flown by Bakersfield, California's John Putnam.
Right, and right behind him in the Super Corsair, John Maloney. This is a Super Corsair with a big radial engine. Here's John Putnam.
He continues to maintain third. Further back
comes Howard Pardue in the big Hawker Sea Fury.
Running in fifth. The story is up in front where Tsunami continues to struggle and overtake the Bill Tiger DeStefani aircraft, that highly modified P-51.
Tiger's not giving him any ground at all. Hinton is just standing behind him, playing his waiting game, trying to close as best he can, just a little bit on each lap.
Did they talk to each other out there?
No, not yet. Hinton's not ready to talk to him until he's ready to pass him, so he'll stay behind him, just inch a little bit closer.
Can you work on each other?
Oh, you can do a little bit of work on each other's nerves, but these two guys are steely professionals. I don't think it'd work there.
Two national champions battling it out here in Texas in the unlimited air races.
And it looks like Hinton now is maybe 300 feet behind him, closing every lap. As we get now towards the closing parts of this race, well, here comes Putnam again.
That's the third place aircraft, Georgia May.
Right, here's some pictures now from the Tiger DeStefani airplane. Low altitude airplane, he's still the leader.
You don't want to make even a think of a mistake out here, do you? Not one flaw in any of these races.
That's right. Getting hot, you're getting tired, the fluids are getting low. The power plant is working as hard as it's ever going to work. And you got a guy like Hinton right behind you that you know is not going to make any mistakes.
Tiger DeStefani relying on Bill Kirchenfeld, the crew chief for that aircraft, to bring it home today. They made a tremendous number of modifications on this aircraft, and he's up against this totally purpose-built racer, Tsunami, which has never won.
It's never run, but it's always come in an extremely good competitor. Again, number 3 position. He's hoping both of them break and he'll win this race. Now we're getting in. Oh, we just had a pass. We had a little bit of a mistake by Tiger DeStefani going high. Hinton comes in underneath, takes him underneath, comes in close to the pylon. Now you see the pictures out of the leader's airplane.
There you are with the leader, looking right over his shoulder as Steve Hinton puts that Tsunami into first place. They've tried to win. They tried it at Reno last year. It didn't work out. Here they are in Texas looking for their first gold win.
You can imagine the noise in that pit as Steve Hinton keeps that thing in first place. But Tiger DeStefani is not going to let it happen easily. He's got the nitrous going and everything else going. Hinton here comes across the finish line, down into the very end of the race. Pushing as hard as he knows how to push. Tiger's right behind him. Last lap now.
A lot of ground to make up.
You bet. Tiger's now sitting in the position Hinton was in for so long. He's back there, sitting back there 300 or 400 feet behind him.
Neil, you're a former national champion back in 1983 with Dreadnought. It looks too easy.
It's not a bit easy, especially not in an airplane that seemed to be a hard luck airplane. Here comes the Super Corsair. You can see those inverted gull wings from a long ways away. John's back in the pack a little bit, but he's still pumping that thing hard. Here's our leader coming around there pulling hard in his final lap. He's not very far in front of this guy. He's not going to let off the slack even the slightest little bit.
Tsunami, flown by Hinton, staying first. Strega, flown by Bill Tiger DeStefani.
As the airplanes lighten up, they keep going faster and faster and faster. He's coming down towards the finish line now, about to pull up probably 500 miles an hour.
And the winner, first time ever, in the Gold Series is Tsunami, flown by the two-time national champion, Steve Hinton. We'll be back to meet him in a moment.